Hello. Oh, 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 oh. I don't know what that was. Sometimes you gotta spice up the normal. Actually, I don't even know if I haven't. No, yes, I do. It's hello, welcome back to Higurashi Tsumihoroboshi chapter 4. 4, yes, 4. Um, um, New chapter. Last chapter was pretty great. If you couldn't tell from the last episode, I thought Rena's backstory was really good. I don't know. I think I might just be a sucker for. I just thought it was really good. It's kind of like it gave me the same feeling as the scene in Honor Takushi when Rena was chasing Keiichi. It just feels like a really good scene, like that can be put in anywhere. Obviously, like context matters, but I just thought it was really fucking good. And I swore, probably because it's late. Excuse my language. um, so yeah, basically, last chapter was all Rena. The trash dump, the bat story. So, painting a picture. Um, then I've been informed of the idea from comments. The idea of basically Keiichi misunderstanding most of the stuff in Anotakashi and just making you believe it's Rena, um, which is something I thought about in all the way back in Anotakashi, but I didn't really bring up that narrative ever again. Which, to be fair, it's never really been that prevalent ever again. It's interesting. I have been thinking back to it, and I do think it can fit for a lot of the things. Though that being said, you have to give a lot of credit to both Rena and Keiichi. I mean, credit to Keiichi by his like insanity was warping his vision that much, because it wasn't just like creepy things that can be taken as misunderstandings. It was also the actions that looked creepy themselves. So it would have to be like a super misunderstanding. And then there are still scenes that don't really work well with it, I think. The hint might not count, but the hint always bothered me where Rena and Mian were talking about Satoshi and comparing it to Keiichi, and then Rena's like, I forgot who said what, but it's like, oh no, we don't want Keiichi to transfer like Satoshi, and then someone's like, transfer? Oh, I like in a joking manner, like he didn't really transfer, and then they both laughed pretty evilly. But that's a hint, so maybe that's not it's not good evidence. Probably the best thing that's keeping me from from fully believing the misunderstanding theory. Surprisingly, it's not the chase scene. I can, again, if you be super generous, you can actually see that not being the case. Mine would be when Rena and Mion or Shion met with Keiichi and gave the mochi. Now, I've already given my thoughts about the mochi. I actually do think that's probably the biggest misunderstanding, because I don't think Mion put a needle in. I actually thought Rena did, but who knows what happens there. You can make a lot of assumptions. Keiichi just imagined it. I thought it was something more harmless. But the suspicious shit is when Keiichi and Rena are questioning, or not Keiichi, Mion, Shion, Sashion, or Rena was questioning Keiichi about, like, they know that he had lunch somewhere with a certain like individual that like they're implying they knew that he went to Angel Mort and had lunch with Oishi, which again is fine because Mion or Shion has the connections with the Angel Mort. But the whole conversation was just super suspicious and seemed like a warning, which it could be a warning. So I guess it does go with the misunderstanding stuff, but it's just so. It's just, I mean, it's an interesting power play, I guess, if you really want to say that everything Keiichi saw was warped. But I don't know. It's just a big stretch for me to believe fully that literally every creepy thing that happened in that arc at least involving Rena. And if I do involve Rena, then I'm gonna also involve clear Mion or Shion in that scene, because it would have made sense if Rena was like actually being nice and it was just Mion pushing it, because Rena was fully agreeing with her. Probably because they both hate Oishi. I don't know. Seems like a really hard pill to swallow, and I need a lot more water to even attempt to swallow it. But it's not a bad idea. But anyways, now that we're done talking about that, let's get to the next chapter. Probably go back to some Keiichi POV. Sounds good to me. Is bad stuff happening yet? Oh yeah, we learned about Rena's dad. I think the more prevalent, like, I mean, her bad story is prevalent, but the present information that we learned was Rena's dad is seeing a hostess, the hostess Rina. I don't know if they're dating. I'm just gonna assume that they're not dating because she's a hostess, and unless they're having like a secret relationship. I don't think active hostesses have real relationships. Again, I don't know the rules, but I would assume not. Or maybe they do, but I think from my knowledge of J-dramas, which obviously isn't reliable, I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to. So either like, I mean, maybe Rina does really like the dad, but they're not like officially like engaged or anything, I think. And there's also the possibility that Rina just likes the gifts / money, so obviously it would be uncomfortable for Rena. But anyways, we are in Keiichi vision. Beautiful. Good morning, Rena.
Ohayo, Rena.
Probably sore from falling asleep in the car.
普段を棚にあげるわけじゃないが、俺が朝の待ち合わせでレナに勝つなんて珍しいこともあるもんだぜ。
That instant switch to that cute face. God damn it.
レナ、今朝はちょっとお寝坊した。ゆうべ寝疲れなくってね。
レナもか？実は俺もなんだよ。昨日の大騒ぎの余韻がずーっと残っててさ。布団に入っててもなかなか眠くならなくて夜が長く感じたぜ。
Yesterday, I had a lot of fun with my friends and went home still riding that high. I was too full to eat dinner. I kept talking with my parents about the great time I had over the past few days. I was so pumped up that I couldn't go to sleep. Kinda sounds like I'm a little kid. But given that Rana seemed to be the same way, I felt better about it. No, I felt better isn't the right way of phrasing it. I should say, I'm glad to know that we shared the same feeling. Rena went treasure hunting after I left. I'm sure she found many adorable things, went home, and talked with her parents about how great the day was. Huh. Well, there's Keiichi assuming things as per usual. What's up, Mion?
Oh, Mion が先に待ってるなんて今日は雪が降るかもな。
Everyone's ready today, huh?
人が珍しく先に待ってりゃそういうこと言うわけ？それを言ったら私より先に待ってたケイチ君も珍しいよ。雪が降るかもね。
Miracles. That's a cursed word in
人のこと言えないね。
when they cry. Perks you up, huh? It's going to be another happy day today. I had fun the day before yesterday. I had fun yesterday, so I'm going to have fun today for sure. I'm happy and Miana is happy too. Of course, Rena and my other friends are equally happy. I'm not afraid to say it, and I wish these happy days would last forever. Common phrase in this arc and in this story in general.
なあミオン、 今日は何をして遊ぼうな。
今日の部活何がいいだろうね。レナは提案ある？
そうだね。昨日おとといと体を使うゲームが続いたから、今日はあまり体に激しくないゲームがいいな。
そうだな。レナの言うのも一理あるぜ。
Variety.
部活は肉体勝負だけが全てじゃねえだろ。
The brains.
もちろん。
Though everyone seems to be pretty athletic. Maybe not Rita, but
心技体すべての
I
要
mean-
素において完璧であってこ
I mean
そ
Rita's
部活メンバーだ
probably
からね。
pretty athletic just from last arc, but yeah, just she doesn't seem that much compared to the others.
じゃあ今日は何かテーブルゲームで遊ぶことにしよう。
Everybody was early this morning. We could enjoy our walk to school for once. After a while, we started talking about the upcoming festival. They told me the festival was called Higurashi, and that it's the biggest event of the year in Hinamizawa.
そうだそうだ。昨日沖宮の家に親類が集まっていろいろと話が出たんだけどさ、ケイちゃんの話題が出たんだよ。
Ooh.
俺？園崎家の重鎮が集まって一体何の相談だよ。
いやさ、昨日のエンジェルモートでのケイちゃんの活躍を見てた店長の吉郎おじさんがさ、
Excuse me.
ケイちゃんのことを相当気に入っちゃったみたいでさ、それでいろいろと話を聞いてみたら、他の親類も意外にケイちゃんの
We're
ことを知ってる人が多いんだよね。
famous. Get on the good side of the Sonozakis and, well, it'll help a bit. Not too much, apparently, but it'll help enough.
ひなみ沢の名物男みたいな言われようだったよ。
名物男ってのはまた微妙な称号だな。その称号の9割方はミオンの罰ゲームに関係があるような気がするぞ。
それだけじゃないけどさ、ノリもいいし元気があって無鉄砲なところも今時の若い子にしては関心関心とみんなベタ褒めだったよ。
Nice. I felt a bit embarrassed to know that the people I haven't even met were speaking well of me.
でね、今後の綿流しのお祭りで何かで活躍してくれないかなって話が出てね。ケイちゃん目立つこととか好きでしょ？
おいおいおいおい、本人不在で勝手に話を進めるな。俺は孤独と静寂を愛するロンリーガイだぜ。
Yeah? Yeah?
誰がロンリーガイだ？ローンボーイの間違いでしょ？
Nice one. That's actually pretty funny.
はあ、ローンってケイチくん。
Thanks,
お
Rena.
金に困ってるなら協力するよ。は
うわー
Ah.
そこまで財布事情に困ってねえし、レナも真に受けてそんな目で見るな。
I don't know why, but this music is like this like somber music. It like fits, but at the same time it's like doesn't fit. Not in a bad way, but it's contrasting this pretty fun scene. We were really still feeling the after effects of yesterday. Miana and I made a lot of noise teasing each other on the way to school. Rena watched us and laughed happily. The Dane. Satoto and Rita-chan were already there when we arrived at school. They were also full of energy. Tomita-kun and Otomura-kun were too. From that, I can tell they also had a good time yesterday. Everybody has been having a good time, really. In Hinamizawa, everybody is happy.
まだ
Good
引っ
one.
越してきて1年も経ったわけじゃないけどさ。
Switch. Interesting switch. I mean, it was a pretty broad statement.
どうしたの突
Half a
然。
year. Yeah. Was it half a year? I always thought it was Oh, it hasn't been a year. Okay. I was confused. I thought it was like 4 months, but I could be tripping. Like 2 to 4 months was my like guess, but I just misread it as per usual.
いやさ、ひなみ沢に引っ越してきて俺幸せになったなって。
どうしたのケイちゃん、急に臭いこと言い出して。
It's a nice place, kind of.
ひなみ沢に引っ越してきて全てが幸せになった気持ちよくわかる。この村にはね、きっと人を幸せにする魔法がかかってるんだと思うから。
To be fair, honestly, in most arts we've been seeing the exact opposite of that, but I guess the unhappy moments have been kind of outshining the happy moments in some cases. I mean,
レナは幸せか？
still remember some of the better happy moments, I guess.
レナはひなみ沢に引っ越してきてからが毎日幸せだよ。
そうだな。そいつは俺もだ。
ちょっとなんかおじさんだけのけ者っぽくない？
You happy, Mion? I don't
ブ
know.
ーブー。
I assume she is actually. That's good. No until first Totoko, so she's happy. Probably until next arc. And I don't know about Rika. Rika is omnipotent, so well, not omnipotent because she died, but she's higher than us. The sky was clear, and the few thin clouds were pure white. The cries of the cicadas was telling me that summer would be coming earlier than usual. Watanadoshi is just around the corner. It's pretty early for Watanadoshi. It's usually I think like 1 or 2 more chapters in the halfway point. I'm sure we'll have great fun at the festival too. There will be more and more fun days to come, I'm sure of it. Summer's just around the corner. No. Oh, I always get baited by the pauses. It's been baiting me, even though this happened like multiple times this arc. Really? Already in Rena vision, huh? Well, it made sense for Rena to be... Or maybe they are exactly splitting the time 50-50, I guess. But I mean, it made sense for more Rena vision. The last class of the day was finally over, meaning that it was time for club activities. I was sure it would be fun. I couldn't wait. But then Mi-chan received a call and told us something had come up and she had to go, so we didn't have a club meeting today. Tisk. I was really looking forward to it. I really can't see Rena tisking, like, ever. There's nothing I could do. But I could at least chat with Keiichi-kun on the way home. It'll be fun. What's up, Keiichi Sprite? Honestly, for some reason your face doesn't look... I think it's the eyebrows, but that's a good resting face, Keiichi. Keiichi, his resting faces and Mayatashi are just... They're just insane for the situations they're in. He just always looks like not even confused, he's like looking down on you, like, what? Like what in a demeaning tone? I don't know. That's the vibe I get. But this is a friendly Keiichi face, huh? Keiichi-kun sometimes says mean things, but he's very funny. When I chat with him, my depression goes away. That's nice. Wait, what did I just say? Am I depressed? Oh, it's kind of funny because we're reading, well, funny coincidence, because we're reading Doki Doki. And I also made the comment that while Rena and like Sayori are like different characters, they both share this very very similar, like, I don't know, kind of like the bare bones, like they both pretend to be happier than they are. They both want to preserve their happiness. Rena said she wants to put them in like diamonds or whatever, and Sayori wants to bottle it up. And they both have like, well, I don't know how much. I mean, they both really like the a male MC, but a male character. Both in a club. Both all the friends are a little crazy, but I mean crazy as in they might kill you, but also like might have a rougher time than it seems. It's kind of uncanny, but it's cool. The cursed dude. We were one click away from the music transition. Glad we got that out first then. I have so much fun every day, and I'm happy as I can be. What did I have to be depressed about? Well, it was obvious. Because of Rina-san, my father is happy now. Before he met her, he was like a lamp in broad daylight. Honestly, he was like the living dead. But after he met Rina-san, he started to smile like he used to when he was living with my mother. He enjoyed talking with her and started going out with her. You could probably say they went on dates. Now he looks 10, no 20 years younger. What love can do. Rina-san gets along with my father very well, and she's very kind to me too. There's actually no reason for me to hate her. But the bitter memories of my parents' divorce and my many regrets were gradually eating away at my heart. Yeah, I mean, again, I was also a divorced child, but mine was like nowhere near as bad as Rena's, since I got to see both of my parents. But yeah, when they had other significant others, didn't really like it too much. Obviously, I don't care now, but yeah, I do remember. I still feel bad about it, but I remember my dad had a girl come from Japan to stay with him. Like, they've been friends for a while, and I remember getting in a verbal fight for the dumbest reason. I was just arguing with her on pronunciation when obviously English wasn't her strong suit. So she eventually left. Probably partly my fault, and that sucks. But yeah, it's just to be fair, I'm younger than Rena, but I can still understand it. It's a little awkward, and I can imagine with Rena, it's like super awkward because hers was a lot messier and the mother, and she has a really bad view of her mother. And also she's commented how Rina kind of her perfume smells like the mother, which might be a sign that she is more like the mother than she seems. Also, she's not really like factoring in the hostess part of this, but maybe she just doesn't know. So maybe her. And Rena is very keen at stuff, so maybe she might be sensing something wrong without it actually happening yet. So yeah, just keep that in mind, I guess. Was it okay to accept that woman? Rina might be the same as. Oh yes, and she had that mentality of that there's just some people you should be enemies to. Sorry. Rina-san might be the same as how Akihito turned out to be. Is she the enemy who takes my happiness away with her very existence? With or without bad intentions? Well, to be fair, it won't really end up the same as the mother, because there's no like, it's not like your dad can like cheat on the mother or anything. It could go bad in other ways, but at least it won't be that situation. Unless like she cheats on his dad, her dad, which I mean I can actually see, because again she's a hostess, and if Rena doesn't know about it and she sees her with another man, then that might get kind of awkward. But Yeah, never mind then. That's totally something that could happen. With or without bad intentions. Am I going to sit around until everything collapses then? Should I fight the enemy before it's too late? Rina-san comes to my house a little too obviously. What does that even mean? Since my father started letting her stay the night, many of her belongings have turned up in the house. My father and I don't smoke, but there's an ashtray in the living room. Well, I hope you don't smoke now, Rena. It's way too young if you do want to do it. The futon in our guest room is hers now. In the bathroom, there's a toothbrush. And shampoo I'd never choose to buy. I'm not really one myself. My mom usually just buys it and I use hers, honestly. But yeah, seems like she's getting settled in. Again, could be very awkward. Especially if you've been like alone with the single parent for a while. I can see the intrusion feeling weird. And again, I don't want to put shade on Rena, especially just because of her occupation, but the fact that she is the hostess really makes you think like that's the purpose of it, just so there's a reason why she's with someone else. And even if she does end up loving the dad, it could just cause a big misunderstanding. But for Rena anyways, I'm sure the dad knows. Probably knows. That's probably where they met. Also, the other significance is the connection to Oishi, so that's also important. Remember that. I started to feel awkward about those things. And that's when I started noticing it at the front door when I came from school. Her perfume. I honestly do not like perfume or cologne. It just doesn't smell good to me. I mean, it's alright. Like, I don't mind it. I never wear it, but like, I know some people who wear it. Especially if it's not too strong, but I don't know, it just doesn't smell good to me. I know it's an older person thing, so maybe I'll like it in the future, but like, I much prefer just, like, if I do wear it, I'd want it to be a minimum where people can't smell it unless they're like very close to me. But at that point, I'd rather just have the natural smell of like shampoo and soap. I wish I had this soap brand. Like, I forgot what brand it was, but I think we changed soap bars. But I remember that brand was so good, dude. When I took a shower at night after work and like chill on bed, I just like, it sounds weird, but it's like you like smell your hands and it's like, oh man, it smells so good. I need to find that out. It's actually so good. I'll recommend it. I'm pretty sure it's a big brand and we're just using some budget soap because it's cheaper to buy, but yeah, that was great. I don't know. I really, especially soap, I think the smell of soap is just, it can be good. Obviously, there's a lot of different ones. And I'm using bar soap. Though I don't hate body wash. What am I talking about? This is so off topic. I'm sorry. To get the mind racing late at night, sometimes you need to pump it with some weird information. I asked my father once if he was thinking about getting married to Rina-san. He looked a little embarrassed, perplexed, and confused. He told me not yet. Again, awkward situation. She'll probably have to. Again, don't know the relationship status, but for marriage, definitely. I would imagine she has to stop being a hostess. Maybe she could have a boyfriend or girlfriend, but I don't think marriage would fly. He knew I was hurt by the divorce. That's probably why he couldn't admit he wanted to remarry. That's why he said, not yet. Yeah. He'd consider it, but not while I was still living with him. I mean, I didn't see it. The dad, again, don't know too much about him, but he did seem like a very, very, at least giving guy. How much he sacrificed for others. Is this her house? Huh. It's a nice house, kind of. It's pretty small. I like this little... What is this? It's like little river? Maybe it's for the... No, it looks like they're on a cliff, so... Is it just just day tour, because that looks pretty fucking sick. Obviously, you couldn't really do that in the city. But yeah, cool vibes. There's only one reason why I don't want him to get remarried to Rina-san. I feel offended that my sanctum, my family, is being invaded. I might be selfish, though. I know keeping my father all to myself means keeping him miserable like he was before he met Rina-san. I mean, if the father really was this miserable, then yes, I think him liking Rina-san, even though it might not end up great, is still better than being super mopey. From my perspective. He has a life to live too. It's his right to heal the pain from the divorce and live, to find his new love. He wouldn't have had to go through that painful life if I prevented the divorce from happening in the first place. He has a right to a happy new life that lets him forget the pain he never deserved, and I don't have any right to stop him. In fact, I have an obligation to try to return his happiness to him. I have to pay for my sin, my inability to prevent his divorce. Damn, it really sucks, right? You can totally understand, like, especially since it happened from such a young age. I can understand why this weighs so much on Rena. Like, it haunts her from her, like, point of view. And, yeah, I don't know. I feel for Rena, for sure. It really sucks. And, like, how do you stop it? Like, she's always gonna be cautious around these sort of subjects. Just really unfortunate. Then what should I do to make both of us happy? It wouldn't be that difficult. All I need to do is give my silent approval of the relationship. My father tells me he won't get remarried while we live together. That means I should stop leaning on my family, be strong, and live on my own as soon as I can. Although that doesn't mean I can tell him not to go out with her until that day. Rina-san comes to our house to see him despite her busy schedule, and she even stays the night whenever her shift permits. They're adults. I have no right to say anything against that. That's why I chose to give my silent approval to their relationship, and tried to see her as little as I could. I get along with Rina-san on the surface. I know my father would have a hard time keeping a face if he didn't. Keeping face. But it's very exhausting and painful thing to get along with a person I don't really like. So whenever Rina comes over, I spend as much time possible outside, then head home late. Michan's club activities are the most convenient things to do to kill time. But there are some days we don't have a club meeting. On those days, I while away my time at the garbage dump hunting for treasure alone. Is that a thing? Is that how you use while? I've never heard that way of while used. Let's do a quick Google check. It's just spelled normal while. While definition: a period of time at the same time. Meanwhile. He starts to draw, talking the while. Wow. I've just never... I mean, I probably have seen it reading, but I've never, like... I don't know. Uncommon. I liked it, though. And that's how I started to make my secret hideout. My father can do whatever he wants with Rina-san at home. I don't have to see them together. I can spend my time peacefully at my hideout. I sometimes feel depressed about my life. I sometimes want to talk to somebody about it. But nothing will ever change even if I talk to somebody. It's kind of, yeah, I mean, maybe it won't change, like actually change, but it'll probably help you. Reset that mental balance. This is all I can really do. Just being like super mature. I don't know if it's the right thing, but it's super mature to at least try to get this relationship going. Obviously it would be hard for it to maintain if you're around and you don't like her, so it's that sacrifice. that selfless sacrifice, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it's right, but it's pretty cool. The most important thing for me should be to overcome the sadness of losing my family as fast as I could and regain my own happiness. I have so much fun every day. I'm happy every day. Even on the way home, Keiichi-kun was talking about funny things that made me laugh. My feeling gloomy in spite of that was kind of rude. My father should be happy. I should be happy. I just feel sad because I still can't separate from my father. Compared to that unexpectedness of the divorce, Rina-san's invasion is a very slow process. I think Rina-san understands how I feel. She treats me very kindly, but she doesn't do more than that. I think she understands that I'd feel uncomfortable if she did. I respect Rita-chan because she's so strong even without her parents. I mean, she is. That wasn't. That was a weirdly timed cough, but no. Yeah, she is strong. Compared to the pain of losing both of her parents unexpectedly, my problem is like nothing. I respect Satoko-chan's toughness too. She also lost her parents and was forced to live a painful life under her aunt and uncle. So Rena knows about. Oh well, yes, Rena would know about it. Never mind. Duh, obviously. Satoshi era. Compared to the cruel treatment she had to go through, my relationship with Rina-san is a blessed one. Blessed. I keep feeling anxious, but that's just because I'm still immature, and because I feel like I'm not ready to separate from my father. I have to be strong like Rita-chan and Satoko-chan. I have to try my best to be happy. I'm going to live with all my might, in order to regain the peace of mind that I lost that day. My assumption that I'm not happy is just a mistake. I should appreciate the wonderful days I spend with my wonderful friends. Just by realizing that I'm happy, the world shines so brightly.
それでね、あんまりにも可愛いから、レナ、はお持ち帰りって。
Sounds like a normal statement for Rena, even though this is probably a lie if she's talking about yesterday's treasure hunt.
やれやれ。
Actually, 1 second. Okay, never mind. I just had like the craziest, insane thought ever, but never mind. It was wrong, so I'm not even gonna mention it. That was stupid. I just had to check something. Not doodling anything, just checking something not spoilery, but never mind. And I bet you're wondering, but I'm not gonna tell. This is embarrassing. There we go.
レナは毎日を楽しく過ごすことに関しては達人だな。
It's a very true statement, Keiichi.
レナは毎日が楽しいよ。こんなにも素敵な友人たちに囲まれて過ごす、こんなにも素晴らしい日々があって、どうして不幸が感じられる？
だな。不幸なんかここにはないよ。
Keiichi, what are these words?
いつまでも楽しくて。
You've been here for like a couple months. But I mean, from his perspective, I guess after hearing Mion talk about people liking him, then I guess it kind of made sense. It's just very blanket statement.
それがひなみ沢ってとこなんだからよ。
But it seems so weird. Oh, quick thought. But it's like, no, never mind. I was thinking, what if there's a possibility that that the Rena vision and Keiichi vision were like two different realities, but that's a little too spicy. There's actually like no proof, but it's just very weird for Keiichi to be saying stuff that are super like something like that when he's barely been in here. But no, it made sense. I'm tripping a bit. He should have stopped right there, but he just kept going.
レナが羨ましいよな。
It's really grinding on Rena. Well, that's Keiichi's specialty. He just keeps talking and is not very good at noticing things immediately. Unlike Rena.
その悩み知らずな能天気さが羨ましいぜ。
That's very backhanded.
はあ、バカにされてるっぽい気がする。
It kind of was, but knowing Keiichi, it wasn't really.
でも毎日が楽しいなら私は能天気でもいいかな。かな？
Kinda. I don't have any worries. I feel like I do, but that's just because I'm immature and still want my father's attention. Come on, say the magical words. It'll cheer you up. Oh.
Huh?
She's been saying that since before the divorce, though. So I'm wondering where she got those words from. I mean, like I said before, it's a very much the same as an ooh situation, huh? It didn't make any sense to say it now, but I was going to say it anyway because this is my magical phrase that always cheers me up. Woo, with the star.
お持ち帰り。
なんだよ突然。
Take home Keiichi.
でもそれでこそレナだぜ。
That's right. This is me, Rena. I'm not Reina. Reina still wants her parents' attention. Rena is a goofy and carefree girl. She knows that every day is full of happiness, and she has the kind heart to appreciate it too. Do that's what I said in my Tashi. I'll call the good, happy Rena, and I'll call the evil one Reina. Well, and the sketchy one Reina. And by Reina, I mean Rihanna in my Tashi, but I mean Reina. I meant Reina, I guess. I should forget about icky things. I should live a wonderful life free of anything icky. Icky starts with the I. And that's why I got rid of the I in Reina. Wow, that is actually pretty cool. I'm Rena. I'm going to recapture the happiness I lost when I left Hinamizawa. I will overcome any pain and hardship. I can be happy. Because I got rid of the icky things. I'm sure there are only incredible things waiting for me. Oh. Incredible starts with an I too. Yikes. I like the ellipses. I was almost home when my house appeared. I noticed something different there. There was a truck parked in front of my house. There's nothing on the back of it, but I can tell it brought some things here because I saw some cardboard boxes, blankets, and ropes on the ground. Uh-oh, is Rena permanently moving in? Is this gonna be the Rena? Well, I kind of said Rena might have killed someone, and obviously she doesn't kill any of the club members, so it's not technically that bad, but it seems it's gonna be spiraling, kind of like for Shion, obviously for different reasons, to something bad, or at least some sort of explosion of emotions. Also, obviously, again, we're still missing a lot of stuff about Rena beating someone at school. Kind of also missing what the heck happened last year with Satoshi, because she was acting super weird around Shion. So I'm wondering about all of that stuff. And last year, I mean by the Satoshi era, but we've only got the Maitashi version of that, which I assume a lot of it to be truthful. Or at least majority of it for the Satoshi era. From the front of the house, I heard voices of two young men saying, "Well, we'll be going now." They passed me by as I walked towards the front door. They were wearing some kind of work uniforms. They looked like delivery people. My father was about to close the door when he noticed me.
ただいま。何かあったの？
おかえり、レイナ。
Yo, he said it with a hard I. No, I'm joking. Bad jokes. It's late.
見てごらん、すごいぞ。
I'm surprised Rena's dad doesn't know she changed her name basically though. My father looked to be in a good mood. I didn't know why he was, but whenever he smiled like that, I just wanted to smile back at him. His eyes used to look like those of a dead fish, do dead fish eyes. We've seen them a lot in this series. No matter how hard I tried to smile at him. But these days, he could put on a big smile just to surprise me. He has been literally coming back to life since a year ago, when we moved back to Hinamizawa. No, since we started dating Rina-san. When I see him smile like this, I'm happy, but at the same time, I feel confused because I don't know whether I should thank Rina-san or not.
ほら、すごいだろ。
Sounds a little creepy, but I'm just sure he's exploding with happiness. Or bubbling over with happiness might be better. He took me to the living room. He was probably expecting me to go all oh and ah over it. So whether there was something in the living room or not, I was ready to go oh and ah for him. No, it's the cursed lamp from Mayakashi. Dude, this thing popped up so much. This lamp, dude. It's like at the front of like 30 to 40% of my save files in Mayakashi. But what is it? What do you do? I tried to sound excited and surprised. He was standing behind me, probably smiling with satisfaction at hearing my excited voice. I, on the other hand, was desperately trying to understand what was going on. For a moment, I thought I was in someone else's house. Some renovations. I thought he was going to be saying that Rina was living with them, but not yet. You see, the living room had been completely redecorated. Well, this isn't going to help Rena's perception of invasion of her home life, her sanctuary, so it's not great. Not gonna be great for her. The furniture we had all basically from the former house in Ibaraki. Was all basically. My parents bought most of the furniture when they got married, so it was all old and a little dirty. Some of them still had crayon scribbles I drew when I was very little. But all of that was gone. Everything in the living room had turned a pastel color, looking very sophisticated, like rooms you'd see in soap operas. Do you watch soap operas, Rena? How would you know that? The new carpet looked very tropical. The new curtains matched with the carpet. The new sofa looked very expensive. The living room in general looked like a resort hotel. I'm not really much for the tropical aesthetics, though I wouldn't mind. I don't know about curtains. My curtains are so shit. Honestly, my wish list for Christmas, I'll probably have one of them is either new curtains, because these are useless, or like a popcorn machine. That's honestly like the two things I want most, but I don't know. I like plain curtains. I do have a carpet, but it's pretty beat up. But I don't really care. I don't know. The theme, it's kind of... I'm more of a plain guy myself. But... The channel switcher of our old TV was broken, and we used to have to use pliers to change channels, but it was done too, replaced by a new one with a big screen. The room's light has also been replaced by nicer looking ones. The living room looked like a totally different world under the new fluorescent lights.
すごいね、お父さん。これはどうしたの？
心機一転さ。もう引っ越してきて1年にもなるんだから。
The
お
hard
父さんもそろそろ
reset.
気分を切り替えて新しい生活に踏み出さないとなって思ったんだよ。
It's a good thing. It is. Maybe you should have got Rena's opinion, to be honest. But yeah, Rena's probably obviously her main problem is how stuck she is in the past, which I think there's lessons to be learned. Maybe not the ones she's taking at heart, but yeah. I suggested redecorating the house once in order to cheer him up because he was so in pain after the divorce. But he wasn't interested at the time. He didn't want to get rid of the old furniture he had chosen with my mother, because he still couldn't get over her even though she cruelly broke up with him. I wanted to suggest it again when the time was right. I never thought he'd do it on his own initiative. Still probably should have asked Rena, but I mean, assuming, I think it's a fairly good assumption that your child would probably like new furniture and stuff, I guess. It's so weird. After that comment I made with obviously the comment at the end of episode 3 with Rena being where Rena changed her voice higher pitch, obviously doesn't work because Rena isn't someone from her childhood, but like now everything just sounds higher pitched than it normally did for me for whatever reason. I think it's just a weird perspective thing.
いいだろう。ほらレーナ、お前ユリースに憧れてたろ。
Bro, I want a rocking chair.
まだ組み立ててないけど。
Actually, I don't want a rocking chair. Never mind. I wasn't thinking of a rocking chair. I'd want a comfy rocking chair.
ちゃんとあるんだぞ。
お父さんすごいすごいすごい。これ私がもらってもいいのかな。
こらこら、それはみんなの共用のものだから、レーナだけってわけじゃないんだぞ。
I don't know why his voice is tripping me out. It sounds like he's about to cry, but I'm sure it's happy tears. Or it's just his natural voice. Does he have a natural tone which he sounds like crying? Because that's pretty based.
共用でもレナが占領しちゃうからダメ。
My father explained the details of his redirect. Oh man, redecoration proudly. He told me that he only did the living room this time, but he's going to redecorate all the rooms. Can we have a chapter break? I think my brain is getting fried. He's sure I'd become more active. There's some parts about the redecoration I didn't like, but I still thought it was great because it made him happy. I found the old furniture outside in the yard.
あれは捨てちゃうの？
まあこの際だと思ってな。後で業者が引き取りに来てくれることになってる。
Again, from the dad's perspective, out with the old bad memories, but Rena obviously still cherishes them. Getting rid of the old furniture means putting an end to my mother. But good news, maybe they'll be dumped to the trash site where you can keep them, but probably not. Doesn't make sense. Never mind. I hated the furniture because it smelled like my mother, and I tried to break everything once. I understand why my father wants to take this opportunity to get rid of them. Oh yeah, I forgot she tried to break all of them. That's even more fuel, I guess. But for some reason, this new living room makes me feel like I'm no longer belonged here. I no longer belonged here. My father didn't choose the new furniture. Rina-san probably did. Most likely, my father and Rina-san decided to holy shit, I'm actually dying. Redecorate the living room and went to a furniture store to buy everything. Why do I keep thinking redirection? Oh no. I tried to think positively. The reason why my father didn't tell me about the redecoration was because he wanted to surprise me. No, my father never really considers things that deeply. So I suppose he didn't tell me because he just didn't think he needed to tell me. That's what I'm getting at. I'm sure he didn't redecorate the living room to make me feel like I was no longer welcomed. Don't be negative, Rena. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't that. My father didn't have any bad intentions. He just doesn't want to get rid of me. He doesn't think I'm the reason he can't get remarried. And yet, why do I feel sad looking at the old furniture in the yard? Why did I feel like I didn't belong? I realized the reason right away. The reason was me. To him, wanting to have a fresh start by getting rid of the things that reminded him of my mother might be an indication of his unconscious desire to get rid of her daughter. That's a very... Nah, I don't buy it for a second. I understand the concept, but I think... Well, I guess it's different for everyone. I don't know. I feel like... I don't know. Nah. I would give Rena's dad more credit. I like him. He's a good guy so far. My father doesn't really consider things deeply, so he might not be thinking that I'm the reason he can't get remarried. But he understands that he can't get remarried while we live together. By staying with him, I'm torturing my father. It was my fault that he had to get a divorce. That's why I have to support him to help recapture his happiness. I couldn't just keep him all to myself. I'd have to start thinking about living on my own. I don't need to go to university. I should think about getting a job. But who would hire an uneducated girl like me? Even if somebody did hire me, I wouldn't be able to earn enough money to live on my own. Maybe I should think about working at a hostess club like Rina-san does. People only choose the jobs they can. A girl like me doesn't have a lot of choices. Not a lot of companies would hire me or pay the amount of money that I need to live on my own. But, come to think of it, where's the place where I belong? Whenever I end up feeling like this, I miss my secret hideout in the trash piles. I love to get under my blanket and feel the warmth on a cold night. The hideout gets hot and humid during the day and very cold at night. It's not a comfortable place to spend time in. But it might be the place where I can relax the most, more than I can at my house. No, I shouldn't think like this. I shouldn't think that my house has been invaded by Rina-san. I should thank her for making my father happy. Rina-san isn't trying to kick me out of the house. She's trying to get along with me. But I'm not opening my heart to her. I'm the bad one. I'm the bad one. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Satoshi-kun and his aunt didn't get along at all, and she abused him for a long time. Compared to him, my situation is a lot easier. Satoko-chan and Rika-chan lost their parents, and they live together now. They've been through very hard times. On the other hand, I still live with my father. I should feel blessed. I shouldn't think I'm unhappy just because of these things. I am happy. I am blessed. The trouble with me is that I still can't admit that I'm happy. My father kept talking proudly about the redecoration. I nodded at him with a big smile and let him keep at it.
そうだ、いけない。レイナ、すまないんだが、ちょっとお使いを頼めないか?
What is it?
お使い？いいよ。
お父さんな、ジャケットを2着ほど洋服屋さんに取り寄せさせてるんだ。それがな、今日届くらしいんだ。ちょっとお父さんは回収業者さんを手伝わなきゃならないから、レーナが代わりに取ってきてくれないか?
いいよ。お店を教えて。どんなジャケットを取り寄せたんだろう。楽しみ。
No matter what they look like, I'm sure Rina-san picked them out for him. Although I don't mind going. I'd rather go to the store than listen to his stories about the redecoration of our living room. Jeez. I got the receipt, asked him where the store is, changed my clothes, and left the house. I started pedaling my bicycle and looked for the old furniture in the yard for the last time. They used to be the object of my hatred, but for some reason, they now made me feel sentimental. Is it because I still regret the loss of my mother, even though I hate her? I couldn't let the poisonous emotions take over my heart. I understood that in my mind, but I just couldn't get rid of that feeling. The old furniture wasn't the only stuff that was kicked out of the house. There's also a lot of junk that I brought home from the landfill. That's a sting. Don't throw Rena's treasures. Come on. My father is probably going to throw that away too. He doesn't like the gentle Itolet. Better not see a Colonel Randy in there, or we might have some problems, Rena's dad. Even though I am a supporter of you for now, I'm watching you. You're so fresh. He's saying. He'll probably let the delivery company take it all together with the old furniture. Just like an animal that rubs its scent on its home in order to feel secure. I collected all the junk in order to make sure that I could stay here. No, that's not it. I wanted to bring them to my house because they were abandoned by their former owners. And they needed a place to live. I'm just sniffing because it's allergy season. Not because I'm crying, by the way. Just in case. I was giving a vibe. Chapter break. Interesting. It's very strange how Rena was like the character I didn't know about the most, I feel like. I don't know if other people are different, but she was always like, I just didn't have a great grasp on her. But it's almost like she's probably the most relatable character to me, just from my personal experience. I'm not saying I'm much like Rena, but I just feel like I can relate to her a lot, which is very interesting. It's always fun to have a character that you can relate to a lot. 2 notes from this chapter, or maybe this arc in general. I feel like I'm reading a lot more than I did in any other arc, probably just because it is from Rena's view, and her thoughts are something of interest, so it's not a complaint. I mean, I've been reading Doki Doki, and that has 0 voice acting, but for some reason, not saying that's better than Higurashi or anything, but it's almost like it's just something I can just K without like even taking a drink for some reason. It just has that effect. Not that I mind this, by the way. It's also the fact that it's always late. But yeah. And 2, there's a lot of repetition in the speech in what I'm reading, but that's obviously because of Rena's mental state, so it's not a complaint. It just feels like I'm reading a lot more just because I'm repeating more, which probably adds on to the first thing. Not that I'll repeat, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's very interesting, and I'm liking it, obviously, because I can relate to it. But just pointing that out, you know, let me throw some points out. But yeah, this is cool. More Rena stuff. I wonder if we're gonna bump into someone. Maybe Rina, maybe Oishi. We haven't seen the big O for a while. Are we missing anyone? We haven't seen Takano either, or Tomataki. So some not new characters, some characters still have to make their appearances, so that should be fun. But yeah, we're gonna save it for next time. Hopefully you enjoy. This is Wednesday, right? I think it is Wednesday, so next one will be a double header, but just because it's not in order. It's gonna be like the half of the chapter and then the first half of the next one. We really gotta fix that somehow. But yeah. Anyways, hopefully you have a good night. I had a good night. It's always fun recording. But yeah, you have a good day, good night, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And hopefully see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, as always, and bye for now.